Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today in our very new Smart Talk Tuesday live, talking smart homes with my friends Vince and Brandon. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. Just
Doing
got
great.
back from Vegas, a little bit tired, but
Vegas, baby.
excited about the new podcast thing here.
Yeah, so we're trying it live here, and we'll see if live works if we do the podcast thing. But we've got some fun ideas. We're gonna try to have some regular segments and everything. Brandon, you've been on our channel before. For folks who don't know, Vince is new to the channel. He's joining us today, and I want to show you guys to introduce Vince. He's got a TikTok channel, very popular. How many views do you have on your TikTok channel?
I think I'm almost up to 4 million on just the one video. I mean, I probably 4.5 or right around there. But yeah.
Yeah, that is about 4 million more than I have in any of my videos, but it's cool. So we're gonna talk about this awesome magic wall that he's got going. That's what I'm calling it. You got your magic wall. I've got some B-roll here. I'm gonna show people the wall. But Vince, tell us a little bit about your LED wall here.
That looks really cool. Let me see how much that would cost. And with the canvas lighting, it was like somewhere in the ballpark of like, I don't know, like $10,000. I was like, that is way outside my price budget about what I want to do. So I'm an avid DIYer. I own a granite countertop business, and so I do lots of handyman kind of stuff. And so I wanted to kind of bring in some handyman DIY stuff, but then also some smart home stuff. So I just kind of came up with the slat wall design, and like I've seen other people do them before, but they never put LED lights in between. I'm like let's try doing that. Let's see what happens. And so I learned a lot of bumps along the way, but it worked out great.
Yeah, I mean it looks amazing, and obviously you got 4 million views on it. So I think I cut your audio off a little bit. I had think when I was running the B-roll, so we might have missed a little bit of the beginning. But yeah, like he was telling us, he did this all himself. It was his own idea. He saw other things, but brought this magic together all by himself, which is super super awesome. Tell us a little bit about the technology that went behind this. How do you make it do the magic colors and all that stuff?
I am, it's really interesting. Everything I've learned, I mean, all of this for this project I did for the first time. Like this was nothing, like I've never done anything like this before. And so like kudos to like all the people on YouTube, like with different videos. But basically it started with Quinn LED has a channel, who he does a bunch of podcasts and stuff with Dr. Z and stuff. But basically he figured out how to calculate all the inputs and outputs for electricity. And so I started watching all his videos and then was able to kind of put it all together. So we use a WLED as the programming that goes into it. And then I use actually Quindor has a board. It's called a Quinn Octa board, a power board and controller, that where you connect each of these channels into it. If you check out like Brandon's video, it shows you kind of an idea of how we linked it all together. But and then basically all the programming is done through WLED. I didn't have to do any programming on my own, thank God, because that's not in my wheelhouse. So
Yeah, I mean it looks awesome. You guys check, it's on his TikTok channel. His link is under his name right there, Vinny the Pooh 87. So you can see that. Yeah, I was super impressed by that. Your whole house is impressive. I actually got a question. So we were talking about doing some shiplap in our basement, and we've got a basketball hoop set up on there for the kids, right? And
yeah.
I was kind of thinking, like, would that work for incorporating some LEDs? And if I did, could I automate it so that when you make a basket, it would do some sort of fancy, like the wall would kind of light up and do something cool?
No, for sure. You could easily do some sort of like a break beam technology when it goes through the hoop and then it's just flashing red lights and with some sound. I know that there's even like some programs out there for like a home assistant where it connects up with different sports teams, where it does that thing where you can set automations up with lights and sounds and stuff like that. But yeah, but from a functional standpoint, you should be able to, because the slat wall, the LED profiles, like the aluminum channels, sit back further in the wood or the slat wood, and so you wouldn't have to worry about them being hit or damaged. That'd be a cool idea, though. I like that one.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. So, and then by the time I get it finished, they'll be outgrown it, but it would still be kind
you just have the boys over for some intramural, and you're.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a lot of fun. It kind of, and then the other TVs are in the other end of the basement. We can have a, kind of a fun little cool area for the kids or whatnot. But yeah, you guys, if you have watching, thank you for watching. First of all, thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions for Vince or for me or for Brandon, hit us up. We'd love to talk about any of your smart home thoughts and ideas. But yeah,
we got Fred in the channel, so that's exciting. He's a longtime viewer, great guy.
Yep. Thanks for joining us today, Fred. So yeah, love to hear your thoughts on anything. So Brand, you have anything? You've been to his house. You saw the wall in person. Does it look?
I've seen it. Yeah, no, I've seen multiple iterations of his house, and just kind of watching things evolve from, a hodgepodge of different systems to, kind of looking a lot more professional now. So very cool. When you were mentioning the basketball hoop, it kind of made me think of Govee and the new AI system, where like the little camera connects to your computer or whatever, and then like when you like kill someone in a game, it'll celebrate, or when you win, or if you get hit, and you get the red for the blood and stuff. So
yeah, I saw that.
Kind of neat.
I saw it at CES. Have you had a chance to test that out or in person?
I have not. Okay. I think if I wanted to, I could probably get one. It's not really in my wheelhouse. Like, my wife is very anti-LED, so if you come over, you won't find much of that here. I had those hexagon panels on my wall behind me here, and it actually ripped down and caused some wall damage. So we had to repaint back here. But
oh yeah,
the wife approval factor was low. The regret factor was high.
I imagine. No, my wife actually does kind of like the LEDs. I heard my audio's a little low. Is this better, Alonzo? I bumped it up a little bit, so hopefully that'll work a little bit better. But yeah, so now that we're on the topic, speaking of what our wives think about our LED lights and things, should we move on to our main topic of the day here? We're talking about if I get
divorce factor, or I mean wife.
The wife factor, yes, raising.
I think we got to be. And he had some pretty interesting comments that it's not all men into smart home tech. So let's.
Very true. Very true. Yes. Well, we should call it spousal approval factor, not WAF. No,
and not everyone's married, so we can't say spouse. So let's not limit ourselves here. But if I look at my audience, like on YouTube, it is actually 95% male.
Hey, that's
all between the ages of 35 and 45. If you're watching, that's probably in that demographic or right outside of it.
Yeah, no, I get ours is like 99% male. And I like, what can I do to make this more appealing to women? I don't know, but that's kind of what we're here to talk about. Like how. Like, if there's any women watching, please let us know what you like about it, and what we can do to get our ladies to appreciate it more. So, I do get comments on the channel from women, and it's great. I love that there's women that are getting excited about this sort of stuff. But yeah, so let's talk about our experiences then with the spousal approval, the significant other approval, SAO.
Yeah.
SOF, our SOF. We'll talk about our
well, like a bunch of I'm married, so I'm going to go with wife approval factor here. But for those that don't know, I'm actually a writer for Realtor Magazine, and I've been testing smart home technology for, I think, 5 years now. And so part of that involves, setting up the different things. And I like to go by category. So I'll have a theme for an article I'm working on. One of those was robot vacuums. And this was during the peak of COVID times, of the work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And my day job is a real estate agent. So I, essential. So I was allowed to leave the house. But while I was gone, we had an army of robot vacuums running. And yeah, that drove my wife insane. So who would have thought? So
so
word to the wise. if you're gonna run a robot vacuum or like 10 of them, maybe schedule it for when people aren't home.
So that's interesting. So I actually just got my first robot vacuum. I got a video coming out. It'll probably come out in the first week of April about with a robot vacuum, and my wife's very excited about that. She's very excited about it. It takes yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's really good. It's amazing what it can get in and out of and all that. They take a little longer than I thought it would to do a whole room. I mean, they're very thorough, but
Hey, that's a good thing.
yeah. So but yeah. So what are the before we jump into the things that they don't like? What are the top 5 or so things that your significant others, your wives, your girlfriends like about home automation? What have they appreciated in your house?
I'll let Vince take a stab at this one first.
Brand's like, nothing. They don't
honestly
like
I sat down with her and did an interview, a full interview of trying to figure out one way or another. And honestly, her care level is -5. But I will say the simple stuff she enjoys. So for example, down in the basement, going in the laundry room, there's a motion sensor, flips on the lights. Super basic, but much appreciative of something like that. And much less appreciative of all the cool stuff that I think that I like the most.
So
my blinds opening every day and closing every day at a certain time, or things like that. I would say it's mostly the simple stuff. She does love because we have 3 dogs. She does love that we have robot vacuums on every floor of the house. And so especially with dog hair, the self-emptying bins, maybe some of the stuff that we kind of take for granted. But that's probably the extent of appreciation for what we do.
Okay. All right, Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah, so I actually had this conversation with Cassie as well, and we both agreed that one of the things we love the most in our home is something that a lot of people kind of overlook, and it's the smart shades, actually. And so we've got Lutron on our main level, and then we installed those right when we moved in.
Nice.
But now in our theater, we've got the power shades, so it's blacked out in there. And that one actually mostly just stays down. But now I've been testing the smart wings as well. So the remainder of our south-facing windows have them, as well as the front guest bedroom. And, she really likes that. Yeah, it's really worked out well for us. And so I think any home we buy from now on will have those shades.
Yeah, I got some smart wings coming, so I'm looking forward to trying that. So Fred says his significant other, she likes to be able to shut off lights without getting up, and that is actually one of the things my wife said. I have programmed a couple Picos. One goes right by her nightstand, and so she can control the fan and the ceiling light and her nightstand light all with the Pico button. She loves that. That has been a huge success, and part of that is because it's a button, and part of that's because of Lutron. You can't go wrong with Lutron. They do really good stuff. But yeah, so that's been worked out really well.
They really are the best. They are the best. We have that too. So we have one for letting the dogs out. It lights all the lights on the way that you would need. So the stairway, the hallway, the downstairs lights, outside light. So my wife loves that, and she can just hit the one button to turn everything off too. So
I did miss one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I think about it, is the automatic door opener that we have for the dogs. That and the automatic water, so she doesn't have to water them or let them out in or out to go potty. They automatically can do that.
No,
your dogs are just so much smarter than mine. They can't figure out an automated door. The cat would get out, and
It takes it took a couple weeks to kind of get them to realize that that's the door they got to go out of to come in and out.
Yeah.
But honestly, it worked.
You have the auto slide. Is that what you have?
Yeah. So it's the auto slide, and then they have the RFID sensors on their collar. And then I actually have them in a smart outlet, so they will the door will turn off and on depending on the weather. So if it's raining outside, so they don't track mud in the house, things like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Although recently, and my girlfriend thinks it's hilarious, but recently the next door neighbor's cat has been coming into our house at night and then coming up to our bedroom.
No way.
So you'll be all of a sudden you hear a meow and you're looking on the floor and you're oh my God, the cat's in the house again. The dog's let it in the house. So it's done that 4 or 5 times now.
Wow.
So.
Have you ever run into a situation where it was on and allowed the dog to go off, but then the weather changed or something happened and it turned off and then they just couldn't get back in?
I would rather have it happen if it's raining and they're outside. Stay outside till someone comes home. I only have it set up for rain. So like if it's snowing, that's okay. Like that's not like mud, so I'm okay with that. So I don't leave them.
Yeah, I gotta get one of those slide doors. That'd be fantastic. We have a bell. The dog rings the bell, and I have to get up and down all day long. I was thinking about I got
Your guys' pets are so much smarter than mine. I just like whines at me for a while. It's 4 a.m, just stand right next to your face.
Oh,
but the nice part is that like if you're out, like if we're going to dinner and then we go somewhere afterwards, people are like, oh, I got to get home because I got to let the dogs out. I don't have to do that. Like I can stay like wherever we are and do whatever we're doing. I don't have to be home.
I mean, seriously, that slide thing, those are expensive, but like that's worth it, man. To be able to like not have to come home. That's pretty awesome. I really gotta look into that situation.
Yeah. That's one of the things too. When you like start to think about like all the smart home technology and like how much time you're saving, a lot of it like with the robot vacuums, it really like helps overcome the objection of like the cost. When people are like, "Wow, $1,200 for robot vacuum," it's like, yeah, but like time how long it goes or how long it takes you to do that same action.
Yep.
And then multiply that over like a couple years
every day.
Yeah. If you have dogs, these robot vacuums are probably going to die eventually. Because,
now
you like
it's still
you pull the bins out and you're like, oh my gosh, can't believe there's that much hair in there.
Even the mopping ones is like, I thought we were clean people, but where did all this dirt come from?
Oh my gosh, I got that. My new floor, it's done. I finished my floor. It's awesome. But that thing just is a dirt magnet. So this mop is like vacuum, like the mop part of the vacuum. That is what I'm actually very excited about. Just running that every night, getting the dirt picked up will be super cool because my old floor didn't show it. I could like go for a long time and it would just be dirty, but you couldn't tell. This one shows. So don't get the color we got, people, for our floor. Get something more of a brown that people aren't gonna see. But anyways, so I got a couple things that my wife really likes. Like she likes the button controllers. She does like the LEDs I have on my shelves. The come up behind the TV or whatever. She thinks those are pretty neat. The garage door automatic closer. She really likes that. That was the first thing we did smart home wise, and that has saved us numerous times when we forget to shut the garage door. It just goes down. What was it? That might be it. That might be it.
That's all she appreciates.
That's all she really appreciates. But she does like those things.
What about the thermostat? Have you had any arguments about the temperature? Or
you know what? Like I work from home all the time, so like I have a smart thermostat, and I don't, it doesn't get a whole lot of use. So I let her control the temperature. I'm pretty easy about the temperature, sort of thing. But
I don't remember what it was set at your house, but I feel like it was unacceptably high.
Oh, yeah, the temp. Yeah, okay. We're environmentally conscious, and we don't run the air conditioner all the time in the summer. So, so when it gets above 84 or 5, then we'll turn the air on. Otherwise, we're hot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable enough using the Ecobee, and then it sends me an email every month saying that I'm in the top 20% of users, and that makes me feel comfortable enough. But I don't go that high.
It sends that to everybody, by the way.
No, I don't get that. I don't get that.
I feel like the ranking is accurate. I'd make sure we put it all the way on Eco. It's all the way on Eco, so we get up to like 75, 76, but it's summertime, but not 80. Good Lord.
We built this house like 5 years ago, and I like went out of my way to make it like environmentally friendly and like energy efficient and stuff. And I had a sense, and I was finding things around the house that were like zombie power or whatever, vampire power, and getting rid of those. And we got solar on our house, and it's like, this is great. Then we bought a hot tub, and that thing is just oh my god, it's so expensive, and it just takes so much power. It's like, well, good job on all that other efficiency stuff.
Right. I was gonna say everything you just did was canceled out by that one purchase.
$50 a month. I love it, but like,
do you use it? Like, I feel like I would never use a hot tub if I had one.
Ah, yeah. If we weren't on this call right now, I'd totally be in there. But
whose idea was it?
Oh, it's mine for sure.
Okay. Do you have any automation set up on your hot tub?
I should. We do have like the smart lighting out there, and I think I've used it like twice. And then like friends over, but now it's just kind of lame. Like, just, no.
Yeah. So
that's on my wish list of purchases. It's like a swim spot or hot tub.
Twin Cities Jacuzzi. Go check him out. Talk to Bryce. He's a cool dude. I actually did all the smart home tech in his house.
Oh, nice.
I was
really?
We were geeking out about stuff, and he had bought a new house. I was like, you should do smart lighting. And he was like, come help me. So we did Lutron and then some Philips Hue accent stuff. But I used Habitat actually and a Pico remote so that he had wall control. And that had good approval factor from his family because they complained about the lighting. They said, they don't want to be using the app. So like that was a good solution.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings up a good point. Let's move on to things they don't like. And I think this is the solution to a lot of things that family members don't like about the home automation is the lack of control sometimes. Like that's one thing that really drives my wife nuts. If the automations are working the way they're supposed to work, whether it's motion or contact sensors or whatever, she's generally okay with it, but it's not 100%. It is not a switch is 100%, right? You use a normal switch, that's never fails, right? So that's what they're used to. And then when you open a door and it doesn't work once out of 20 times or whatever, people get upset. And so you got to have that backup manual control, whether it's a button controller, whether it's a switch. You can't just rely on using the motion sensors because they're just not going to work all the time. And hubs don't work.
Yes. So having like Lutron, like the switch on the wall just in general, but if you're going to do smart lighting, having constant power, but then having the switch act like having it be a button controller. So using like Zeus or Innovelli, those types of things where you can still go up to the wall and turn it on and off. That's huge.
I feel like our patience level is so much higher than theirs. We're like, it's okay, like we kind of convinced ourselves, like you fix stuff. I feel like fairly often where you're like, I'm okay with it, but then they're not that one time or two times. And that's like literally, I feel like I asked her 5 things that she hates where things get better. Like 3 out of 5 things are literally things that literally have broken. That's like just automations are broken. Like
sounds like you've been using Home Assistant, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a full-time job,
like a learning curve. But the biggest complaint is that I have Zeus smart switches in 3 of my rooms: my kitchen, living room, and then the master bedroom have smart bulbs, like Philips Hue smart bulbs. And obviously it's supposed to work where, you can just turn the power on all the time on those, like make them smart switches, and then they're just toggles.
Yep.
For whatever reason, they like, whether it's like a internet outage or if I reset the Wi-Fi on the network or power, like they aren't automatically on. And so they don't work. So you have to reset the switches. I would say probably once a month right now, which is
too much.
Super annoying.
That's too much.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things is like, I think I've made some bad choices in devices. When it comes to bulbs, like I know Hue are the most expensive, but by golly, they're good. Like they work all the time for me.
It just works. It just works.
It does. It does. And like I have bulbs that don't, and it's like I know they're cheaper and they work a lot of the time, but God, like it's tough to when there's something that works all the time. It's hard to not go with that, even though it's more expensive.
I think to be fair, my problem is not with the bulbs. My problem has been with the switches. So I guess you're probably okay. Although adding them is not very fun. Your initial ad for Zigbee bulbs, I've had sometimes nothing but problems.
Yeah, connectivity, so fun. Joel in the chat says his wife hates the smart home stuff because her fear is that if he dies, how will she fix things when they break?
That's a good point. Just move. Just tell your wife to move.
Just burn it down.
Burn it down. Like I don't know. I have not moved since I started smartening out my home. This is the first smart home I've done. So I had a whole bin. I was going through the basement this weekend. I had a whole bin of all my old switches, right? And I was like, do I need these? The answer is yes, I think, right? If I'm going to sell my home, like I'm probably going to put those old ones in because I don't want to teach somebody how to use this. I've heard people like made manuals, like literal manuals of how to use their smart home for people that buy their house or if their wife.
Yeah. So the original DIY smart home guy,
That's right.
John, when we were out in Vegas, we were having this exact conversation. And I'm a real estate agent by day, and so I would tend to say, some of the things, the crazy automations that require a hub and require a lot of they're pretty complicated. Yeah, you might want to just take them out when you move because maybe you want to bring them with you anyways. But no, like you said, he created this manual and he was able to get extra money from his house, and of course it was an engineer that bought it, so like they appreciated that. You got to figure your average person's probably like either they don't care or they're just put off by that. And so a lot of times we do tell people it's like, I just can't remove that.
Yeah,
I think I read an article like in the last couple of days about someone's nightmare of buying a home and they left all the smart home stuff there and not knowing how to use any of it.
Yeah, it's important that they factory reset, because once you take the Wi-Fi away, then sometimes you just can't reset it because it's like factory tied to the person. The Google is notorious for this. So like, especially with locks. I mean, obviously for safety purposes, they don't want people to just be able to take them over. But yeah, you need to like go into the app, and the app has to be physically connected to the home still. So like if you've already moved out, well, then you're shut out of luck and you got to call them, and pain in the ass.
Yeah, that happened to a friend. They were renting a house. Someone I was talking to at church, they were renting a house and had all the smart stuff. And they, for safety purposes, they changed the name of the router and the password to the router. And I'm like, oh no. That means everything that's connected to the router, all the switches and everything are gone. And they're like, is there any way to fix it? I'm like, yeah, know the name of the router. If they switched it back to the name of the old router, would that work?
Yes, it would work.
I assume it would work. I think that would be the only way to make
that's the same thing when you're switching out, like if you're buying a new mesh router or whatever, as long as you change the name of it, everything should reconnect. Doesn't always.
So like if you have like a control 4 system, you need to have the devices stay the same IP address so that you can do control over IP. So in that instance, it would not actually, but good.
But our DIY smart home stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Factory resetting, so important.
Yeah. So another thing is that my wife struggles with sometimes is when I leave, like if I'm gone, right? And she doesn't want to have to deal with anything with the house, right? If something goes wrong, I'm the guy to fix it, right? But if I'm not there and something happens, then she gets a little upset, and right? So it's again, I always have switches for everything. Nothing you have to get into the app for, but when things get a little wonky when I'm not there, that's and I don't blame her. She shouldn't have to fix that. I'm the one who set it all up, but I don't know if there's a great solution for that other than, can I shut off all automations when I'm gone? Just set up one thing, just turn everything off.
I suppose
you just use your presence sensor on your phone, and then those all don't work.
We got some good questions coming in the chat here that are a little bit off topic, but I think we go ahead and take a stab at it. So they're asking, what are the hubs that we're using? I'll go first. Okay. So I test a lot of things, so I'm like moving things in and out of ecosystems, but like our primary system that we use is Apple Home on our phones. And then we're actually using the Amazon Echo devices. I won't use her name, so that we can argue with her every day about, turning lights on and off and random things, and be advertised to a lot. So it's like, play this. Oh, by the way, did you know that you could buy this or set this up? God damn, no.
There's a price alert.
So then we have that. And then we have Habitat is running things behind the scenes. So if I want to do more advanced automations, I have like Ecobee with these presence sensor, temperature sensors in different rooms. Those rooms have smart shades. And so Pete and I were working on a video in the past here, but basically showcasing this automation where if the room is too cold and no one's in the room, then the shade could go up, and then the sun would heat the room. If the room got too hot, the shade could lower with some time parameters and stuff, because what's the point of doing that if the sun is down, and the occupancy, because it could be changing, and then all of a sudden my shades go up. So Habitat is just kind of behind the scenes running those things. I've got the Philips Hue bridge to bring that stuff in, but I'm trying to really simplify things. And then I have like a real link NVR system. But when I'm testing things, I'll use like the different ecosystems. I've really moved away from smart things just because I'm not a fan anymore. But I've got the Akara hub sitting around here somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. Got a little cat guy that I should be testing.
Oh, one of the camera one. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, the camera cat. I have their other hub that
The
I use.
M2 or the new one?
The M1, isn't it? Right.
That one is. This is the G3 camera hub.
Oh, but the other one's an M2, I think, right?
Oh, the stick. I have the stick one. It's like.
Yours are just the black. I have the black round hub, whatever whatever.
Oh yeah, that's different. Anyway, so that's only for testing. So a lot of times I'll have things that's just temporary. But yeah, I kind of like keep it simple. And of course we have the Google Home, we have Siri and stuff for testing. Matter, because that really works well, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
but
so
yeah, no, we the last thing is just Lutron. So we have the Lutron shades, and then we have the Lutron hub. I guess I have Control 4 in my theater too, but like that was just that's for the theater. So anyways, yeah, that's all the different hubs I use right now.
All right, Vince, what do you have? What do you run in your house?
Oh my god. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard because there's a lot of different hubs, but I started using Home Assistant this last year, and that's just a lot of the behind the scenes automation.
He quit his day job for this, by the way.
Yes, I did.
It's a full-time job.
And then I still have Smart Things, and I route Smart Things into Home Assistant. But basically, Home Assistant is just using that for all of the behind the scenes automations. But I have Amazon Echoes for automations, and then also using like for the media player and everything. I have Google Home. I have Apple HomeKit because they all tie to Home Assistant. I have the Bond hub for all my blinds, shades. I switched that. I had Modern Forms. They have their own hub, but it's terrible. So Bond is 100% better than that. SwitchBot hub, Flick hub, Hue. But predominantly it's Home Assistant and Smart Things. That's pretty much what I'm using for mostly everything that I have. But yeah, everything comes with a hub. Every brand, it's like
I have dabbled in Home Assistant. I have set it up. I've set up one automation in it that just to kind of test, and not a fan yet. Primarily, I'm using Habitat and Homey. The Homey Pro are the two that I've got going on. I do have a Home Assistant, or I do have Smart Things, and I've got a bunch of different bridges and stuff. But I've got the M1. I've got the Lutron, the what do you call it? The Hue bridge. It's all under my. I'm like looking because it's under my feet. That's my rack. Is just a shoe rack underneath my feet. But yeah, it's primarily Homey and Habitat are the two that I'm using. I love the Homey interface more than anything I've seen in any hub ever, and the Habitat just has great connectivity. The Z-Wave radios are awesome, and it does have a lot of capabilities once you get to know how to use it. So I kind of mix between those two with what I'm doing.
Nice.
Yeah. So
so complicated is the answer.
Yeah, really complicated.
But it's because I test stuff, right? I have a channel that I test stuff. I used to work at Habitat, and I tested stuff, for them as well. So if I was just trying to simplify my life and I wasn't testing a bunch of things for videos and stuff, I would love to say I could switch right over to the Homey. There's still some compatibility with that I would like to link with the Habitat or something. So I still would use those two in tandem, but I wouldn't be using Smart Things. I'm not ready to go into Home Assistant. It's just I don't need that level of control. I've got enough that I can do with all the other stuff I have that I don't need to learn Home Assistant yet.
So that's the one thing too, is like, I think for anybody that's like trying to maybe even get into smaller home, like it's okay to like it's to piece these things together, right? Like I don't use Home Assistant for everything because I'm not super versed in it. So I use it for like, for example, I can use MQTT for all my Ring, motion sensors and all my door and window sensors that I can't bring those into Smart Things like natively. And so I'm able to do kind of more behind the scenes automations, and that's mainly what I use it for, because that's what but I'm not doing everything in it, I'm not that steeped in it.
Yeah. If you think about it too, like naturally we're kind of tinkerers and we want to try the new products as they come out and
Yep.
stuff. And so we're always going to be changing things. I'm actually doing a little bit of consulting work right now for a guy that's building a home, and he's actually this is going to be doing full pro automation. And we're going through the proposal that the integrator provided him, and it was interesting to see like what things cost versus like the equivalent that we have in our home. And I was telling my wife about all this different stuff, and like, you know, if we had been talking about maybe building again, and she asked me, said, you know, if you were to build again, do you think you would go with a professional system, or would you want to change things out and keep testing? And I'm really torn actually. I kind of feel like I might be at a place where it's like, okay, I know that what I really like Lutron, I love it, Ecobee, those type of things, and like the Apple Home, that I might actually just go with like a few things, simplify everything, and then, you know, just get rid of the rest and be done with the testing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hear you. So I think I really want to. I think this is a whole episode. I think we could talk a whole episode. This kind of I had an idea for like building the perfect smart home ecosystem. So I think we should table this and do a whole episode on this next time or in a future episode. Fred did ask if anyone's tried the ZemiSmart hub, ZemiSmart Matter hub. I have not. I've heard of it, but I've not tested it. So you guys?
I have not.
I have not either.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's just something. Is that when you just pick up on like AliExpress?
Yeah,
like
I think so. Yeah.
So it's like a smart life hub.
I think that's the one.
Like with Xiaomi.
That's the Paul Hibbert special,
That's
baby.
exactly. Yeah, Paul Hibbert had a video on that one. So I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I love his stuff. I love his energy and his comedic effect, but like the products that he features are just not things I would put in my house.
I think well, just like even from us, we're talking about like obviously like an episode for smart home. The problem is like we've been doing smart home for so long, and so like you have like a plethora of like products, and you're like trying to make them all work because you find something that's better eventually. Like, oh, I've been using this. This was good at the time, but then oh wait, this is better, and this is something better, and then all of a sudden you have I don't know like 30 brands or 20 brands in your house, and you're like, all right, now I got to figure out how to get this all to work together.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to move on to our next segment. Hopefully it's a recurring segment. This is I've got a little bumper here. This is our big smart idea of the week. Okay, so I asked you guys in advance to each come up with one big smart idea of the week. Something that doesn't exist or an automation that isn't done yet that you think this is a great idea and either I'm going to do it or somebody out there should do it and build it and create this thing. So what is your smart idea of the week? Love the blank.
Don't jump off first.
Love the blank faces.
I didn't want to cut him off. All right, I guess I'll go first.
Go first.
So, I love robot vacuums. I just wish that they could go up and down the stairs. Maybe, you know, the bin, it empties itself, but maybe it could like refill the water. I know they have that now with like normal and stuff, but like this robot needs to like start doing more things. Well, using stairs is what I wish it could do.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic idea. Is there one that there's none out there that do that? Is there?
I don't think so. I think like the concept exists.
Need like some sort of a like climbing.
Yeah. Like, we only have 2 levels in our house, so it's not so bad. You know, 1 at each level.
So,
but I like these people that have like 3 or 4 level splits and
me.
Yeah, well, both of you actually.
Yeah,
of course.
Both your houses are good examples. You guys
terrible.
need this product.
I know. It's annoying. Yeah, I've got it's 2 steps between levels. It's
the best is like the sunken room. So you're like one, you know, like in the 80s or whatever, that was super popular. So like, okay, now the robot can't go there. Anyways.
So no, I think that is an idea that is much needed. So get on that, people. We'll pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that.
Yeah, I think it was like Adam's Smart Life or something. He tested one recently that had just come out, like that. I don't know if it's the SwitchBot one or something. Anyways, apparently it took a dive right off his stairs. So that's
suicide.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I've got the ZBot X2 or the DBot X2 Ecovex. That's the one I'm testing right now, and I'm gonna try it on a ramp. Like I've got just 2 steps. I'm like, will it go up and down a ramp? Can I don't know if that's a thing it'll do, but we'll give it a whirl, because yeah, it would be awesome if I could not have to pick it up and move it, because yeah, we'll see. But
like the ramp we have for our dogs to get
right.
into the bed. We got little dogs, so they need ramps, and they don't use them. They just sit and whine at you next to the ramp until you pick them up.
Just reinforcing that bad behavior.
I need,
exactly.
I need some way for the ramp to like retract or something, like a drawbridge, or I don't know, like
a moat.
Like yeah, like a moat. I want a moat in my living room. Okay, that's my idea for the week, is a moat in my living room. So I'm done.
It's funny for mine. I got a couple, but so the funny, because it intertwined with our spouse approval factor, but she was like saying, like, I wish that they could have somebody do my dishes and the laundry for me. And I was like, oh, that's probably on the horizon, like not that far off at CES. But mine is the idea is like, because they have like robot lawnmowers now.
Yep.
And then they got all sorts of stuff kind of coming out with that. But it actually is like a smart like sprinkler. Do you know those? Do you know like those tractors, the old school tractors, sprinklers that spin and they run along the hose, right? To be able to sprinkler. Well, just have one that's an actual sprinkler robot with a hose attached to it, and just like goes back and forth across the entire yard.
Hey,
that's neat.
That's actually
not maybe bad. It would like identify where it needs more water or something.
Yeah. You put some.
You could get an irrigation system, but then it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, and this you could just take with you,
Right. But yeah, you could take it.
Cool.
That's actually a pretty good idea. That's actually. Very
Have you guys gotten a robot mower yet?
No, I'm really close though.
Did you get yours, Brandon? I know you said there was possibles.
No. Oh. The same thing is happening again. I think we're gonna have a three-peat here of companies telling me that the deadline is looming, guys. The grass is gonna start growing again here soon.
I know.
And I'm working on an article that I need to totally test this. Like, that's my excuse. I'm working on this article. I need this, please.
For those of you who
it's a nice business expense.
For those of you watching, we all live in Minnesota, and normally this time of year March is the snowiest month of the year. We would normally have 90 some inches of snow probably a year. 70 to 90, I think, is the average. What did we get? 3 maybe, like total?
I don't think it's probably less than that either.
Yeah, we had no snow. Like I was golfing in January in Minnesota, so yeah, I wouldn't mow till April, sometimes even May, before I have to do the first mow. I mean, we'll be mowing in the next couple weeks.
These aren't complaints, by the way. These are just observations. Observations.
Right. Yeah. No, we're all, what we've learned this winter is that we're all frauds. Minnesotans are total frauds. We all talk about, we love our cold and we're hardy people. And then we have one winter where it's 40 degrees all winter. We're like, this is the best thing ever. So
my brother has one of those, like the auto mowers from Husqvarna. So
they were supposed to be sending one too. Now you're just.
He likes his.
Don't tell me how great it is. I don't want to.
He likes it. He was joking with me the other day because he also has 2 dogs, and he's like, I don't know what happens, but I never have to pick up dog poop in the yard. It
just butchers it. Nice.
Yep. Just makes it into fertilizer.
Chops it up good enough.
Yeah.
We got a poop eater, so I'd be concerned that he'd be spending a lot of time picking through. That would be great, though, to not have to deal with that too.
Yeah, just
we're onto something.
Nothing.
And don't worry about cleaning the blades or anything.
Although he's got the one with the wired in.
Yeah.
And Husqvarna, I think, has just released last year the one that has the GPS. Where
that's the one they were supposed to send me to test.
Got lost.
I travel quite a bit for work. So
the Works Vision.
Oh yeah.
That didn't happen either. Damn it. I'm the one that I was eyeing out was the Yarbo one, but that thing's like a tank.
I want the Yarbo. That's the one that plows, right? That you can put the plow in.
That's a snow blower too.
I have a super long driveway.
Yeah. Something tells me they're not sending us review units for that. But
I don't think so. But man, that seems a little scary. Like that's
cool. I wrote about it anyways. I thought it was.
So apparently they're being released in May, but like the pre-orders it was for like the mower and the snowblower attachment with the unit. It was like 12,000. So
yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, hey, how much do you value your time? Like if you how to plow service to do it or something. I mean, like, I feel like somehow we can justify this. Like,
Here's
uh,
well,
here.
the only reason I'm not disappointed, I've got 2 kids that are almost of mowing, plowing age, so I've got my robots are on the way for a few years, anyways.
Well,
I
you
feel
have
like
to, you have to tweak it for a little bit because they usually aren't very good at first.
Right. It's all right. We'll get them on it. So what do you got there, Brandon?
half of my smart home journey / like just tech enthusiasm is convincing myself that I need products that I 100% don't need.
There we
And that
go.
this should definitely be in the budget and should be like a business write-off. Clearly I needed the Vision Pro and I use it so much, it's just gonna go right back on the shelf. Of course, I got this great background, and then Pete crops me,
I'm
so I'm
sorry,
tiny
look,
on the screen here. Oops.
Okay, next time you can be huge, and we'll put ourselves in the little corner.
Yeah.
So,
Just kidding.
Japers.
But I made a point to have it in the
I
background,
know.
and
Okay,
people
listen.
can't even see it now.
Can I fix?
That's all right.
Hold on a second. Oh no. Oh.
Did you know that you can control your smart home through the Vision Pro? It's absolutely pointless.
There, oh, I can't see it there. You're not even in it. Look at that. That's not even working. Okay. Sorry. We're goofing around with technology here. So go on with your bad self.
I couldn't have joined the call with it on because it doesn't support the Google Meet. But if we were on Zoom or FaceTime, I could have joined as my persona and creeped you guys out.
I was saying it's really creepy. I've seen it.
I have seen it. Yeah, you showed that. You're like, oh, like your face.
I'm like an elderly version of myself, but like dead.
Yes.
So
it's kind of horrible. I hope that's not the future for everybody.
It seems like it's quite distracting if you were on a Zoom call as your alter ego.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next segment here. This is our smart home regret of the week, or just a smart home regret.
You want to go first on that one?
Okay, I will go first on this. My smart home regret is buying too many Wi-Fi bulbs. I kind of touched on this with Hue. I love the Hue bulbs. Oh my God, and because I've been working.
One bulb was too many bulbs, Pete.
I know.
One bulb.
I have trying to do a really cool video on how to automate my exterior lights, which I have done with my Homey Pro for all the holidays, right? Like for Christmas, Easter, whatever. Like it detects what holiday it is and puts the lights on. Then I went outside to try to just get some B-roll of the lights working, and I can't get the freaking middle light to work. And it's not connected to the network. And I don't know why it's not connected to the network. It was connected, and sometimes, but yeah, at least twice a week, I go outside and I see that one of the bulbs is still on or not on when it's supposed to be on. And it's just, yeah, don't get Wi-Fi bulbs, especially for outside. I'm an idiot. I know that. And I'm too cheap to replace them because they were kind of expensive in the first place. So I'm going to live with my stupidity, and the whole neighborhood's going to know it. But yeah, don't get Wi-Fi bulbs, people. That's the lesson.
See, as I was being, your tolerance level is so much higher than your spouse's.
Well, if it was inside, she would definitely have a problem with that, but it's outside, so she doesn't see it all the time. And when she does see it, I'm not around usually for her to complain to. So, yeah, when she
I would say my smart home regret for this week is talking about Wi-Fi, as my Wi-Fi ceiling fans that literally disconnect probably weekly, and I am ready. Again, I live with it because they were expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like what you're saying. But I cannot stand my Wi-Fi devices. I have never had good luck with Wi-Fi devices. Either the ceiling fans or Wi-Fi plugs, like smart plugs. I've never had good experiences. And I've even swapped out my Wi-Fi mesh network before. And then a lot of these devices too, especially the ceiling fans that I have, their modern form ceiling fan, they only connect to the 2.4 gigahertz
all
network.
All smart home.
Yeah. So because of that, if you have a mesh network system where it switches back between 2.4 and 5.0, you just run into constantly disconnection and connectivity issues.
Yeah, I actually separated I have the one that switches back, and I actually separated the two different networks, and it still was a problem. So
My take, or what I did was, I just bought a Wi-Fi extender,
Mhm.
and then I created the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz on 2 separate networks on the Wi-Fi extender, and then connected all my smart Wi-Fi to the 2.4 on the extender. But I still, again, it's definitely not as reliable as Z-Wave or as
No,
Zigbee for sure.
not even close. Not even. All right, so we're two for two.
Ceiling fans.
2 for 2 on Wi-Fi complaints. Brandon, what's your regret of the week?
When I had my townhouse, I went with the Wi-Fi switches, so I could pile onto that. 25th device or 26th device on your home network, unless you have a nicer system. But no, I would go with a little something different. So my regret is that I've tested way too many smart locks on my front door to the point where the screw holes got chewed out and I had to like re-glue them back in. And then of course I've got 4 more of them sitting here for testing for an article I'm working on. And so I've been talking to these two about like
I got the drill. Okay, I'll do it this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna take this offline, but we need a rig to test this.
I know.
Stop ruining my front door.
I have that door. That
my mode of operation though here is that I film the unboxing, then I do an installation, then I almost immediately, like, I test the features and stuff. I get the B-roll for that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I uninstall the lock and I find someone to test at their house, and so like they become the benefactor of said lock, and I let them use it for however long I need for to get a good read on the product to make sure it works. And one of the big things is like, hey, tell me how the battery is doing.
Yep.
But then they report back. That way my friends get the benefits as well, because I only have one front door and I've tested 27 locks so far, 4 right here. But yeah, that's worked out well.
You gonna give us a sneak peek of your favorite so far?
Sneak peek of the favorite. Well, I've done a lot of videos on this, so I love myself some Schlag and Code Plus. But I do have the Akara one here, the U100. I'll probably get the U300 from them for testing. It looks pretty promising. Works with Apple Home, so that's good. They added the Apple Key feature, which is one of the things I like about the Plus version of Encode Plus. And then the Lockley showed that Visage, or I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I want
Visage at CES, and it's got like facial recognition. So I want to test to see if I can like trick it with like a video or something, or like,
oh yeah,
I don't know. It seems interesting.
Yeah,
but no, like they make really, really good locks. They sent me the Retro Kit one somewhere down there, as well as another, like one of their current ones, the Elite. Yes, is my installation guide for the Elite. So that'll be tested here soon. I've used them before, and I think they're great. I refer to them as like the Cadillac of locks. You get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
They are on the more expensive side, but yeah, they got a lot of features and stuff. So they're pretty cool. If I own like a bunch of houses, I think that's probably the one I would go with, because you can use their lock management system. So you could like create codes and access and change things all remotely and all within one dashboard, versus having to like physically go on site to change codes or have like a bunch of different house. Yeah, it just seemed like they really thought that out really well. So yeah,
cool. Well, look forward to hearing about your locks when you test them out on the new rig that one of us is going to build for you.
Yeah. Let's
tell that door, like I said.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd be simple, right? We drill some holes. I even got like the little guide in one of these boxes that like has the spots. Like, we're gonna make this happen.
All right, cool.
It'll definitely increase my spouse approval factor, not changing the smart lock.
I will bet. All right. So we're going to move on to our final segment of the week. We don't have a bumper for this, but just want to know what you guys are working on this right now, what projects you have coming up, whether it's a video or just interesting things you have going on, and then we'll close the show out here. So what are you working on these days?
Yeah, I'll jump in on this one. So just yesterday, I had someone reach out to me from Mansion Global. So a Fox Business segment, and they do like luxury tours, and they saw some of the content that I created and want to partner up on something. And so I've been doing a little bit of outreach with agents and builders and integrators that I know here locally, trying to find a good property that might be a good fit. But I also am going to be doing a couple of tours in the next couple of weeks of some pretty cool houses, talking about the tech that they have and what we could do to modernize it. So that'll be neat. And then, as I've shown here, I've got the smart locks that will be tested for an article I'm working on for Realtor Magazine. And just before we jumped into this call, I was getting my Reolink, pan tilt zoom camera set up in the backyard. I installed it upside down, which I thought was fine because it has a toggle so you can like flip the image. But the range of motion, it can't go low enough to see the grass. So I think I gotta flip it again here and start over. But the trials and tribulations of smart home tech, and I of course drilled holes for this. So
of course,
when I go to sell someday, there's gonna be some weird holes because I'm probably gonna remove all the cameras. I just feel like having a bunch of cameras in your backyard like just sends the wrong image.
You're the realtor, man. You should know.
I mean, like I'm not at like Rob from the Hookup Level or what's that other guy that does really well with the cameras, Life Hackster. I'm not at his level with the rigs and everything. But I got like 4 or 5 back. No, I think 5 at least back there right now. This one will be 6, which I feel like is crossing into the excessive territory. One of the things I like about it though is that like these cameras have spotlights, so when the dogs go on at night, it just like lights them up and it follows them around. So it's like a hidden benefit that I didn't think that I needed, and now it's kind of cool.
Can't live without it.
So yeah, that's it. I got a few different things I'm working on, but
awesome. What's going for you?
Good times.
What do you got going on, Vincent?
Oh man, bunch of still some more DIY stuff. I'm actually in the middle or starting. I've started testing colors, actually painting my kitchen and bar cabinets and bathroom cabinets, and then I'm actually putting in some toe kick LED lighting.
Nice.
Under those as well. I'm remodeling a closet to make it a washer dryer unit, like on the main floor, like one of those compact versions, the 110 volt ones. And also going to put in a bunch of like kind of some accent lighting in there as well. I got rid of all of my ring solar pathway lighting because they were just they didn't last very long, and so I'm actually planning my project here for the spring. I could probably start it sooner than later, but actually doing some low voltage lighting down both sides of the driveway with actual wires versus the solar because it's not very good.
Nice.
Yeah, how many times did you cash in on the warranty with those?
4 times.
Nice.
Wow.
4 times. 4 times.
Are you gonna offload it on eBay or something?
Yeah, I basically have 14. I have 14. Well, last year, basically, my snowplow guy ran over all of them, like every single one.
Well, I mean, when you can't see them, they're on the snow.
Well, I had the stakes up. I don't know, whatever. So I have 14 new pathway lights that I'm just trying to get rid of because I'm done with them. I'm ready to do something else. So
that's whatever happened with your. You had that like box truck you were going to make into Airbnb. What did you ever do that?
So I have all the lumber for it. I've actually started gutting it out. Did not get as far as I want to on it, just with everything else going on with the granite countertop business and all that other stuff. So, but
you've got a lot going on, man.
Wait,
I got too much.
You're turning a truck into a Airbnb?
I have a box truck that it's a 20-foot box truck, and I'm basically turning the box portion into like a tiny house or a stealth tiny house. Oh. And I was going to use it as an Airbnb property.
Nice. This sounds like a whole separate episode.
Right? Like, it's cool stuff.
That is
or
cool.
If you watch the Tiny House channel on YouTube, like that guy gets millions of views. This is crazy stuff.
Trying to get I joke with my girlfriend and like trying to convince her that we should move into it and then rent out the house, and then travel. She didn't think that was a good idea.
Awesome.
You got to move the pole from the garage, though.
Yeah, I got to move the pole from the garage. She's actually complained lately about it not being in the house and that she would use it more if it was inside the house.
Get at her.
I don't know where I'd put it. It's too big.
Just remember, when we sell your house eventually, we're going to have to remove that conversation piece.
Right. Awesome. Well, that's
the bedrooms and
You are an interesting person, my friend.
For those that are curious, just go to my channel, check out his tour.
Yes, his house is
we've done a
wild.
few tours there. He's got some interesting stuff. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna share my thing that I'm working on right now. I've told you about the vacuum. The problem I've realized with the vacuum is that it's it's got a big base that you got to keep somewhere, right? And I don't want to keep that sitting out. I want to keep it in the closet. But if it's in the closet, you got to open the closet door. You can't automate it, right? So unless you have a door that automatically opens. So I'm creating building a door that automatically opens when it's time to vacuum. Robot goes out. Vacuum
Or just
goes
cut
back
the
in.
door.
Huh?
Cut the door.
Cut
the door.
No, I create a whole. It's a cool thing. It's awesome. It actually opens the door automatically, and the vacuum goes out, and then it shuts when it.
Does it mess with the map though? I feel like
I haven't tested it with the map yet. I'll have to redo the map. I think I'll have to put sides up, like, I don't know.
So you're gonna have that, then you're gonna have your ramp with your moat. This is good. I like where things are going in your household
I'm
here.
telling you, man. This is gonna revolutionize the robot vacuums, the door opener automation. It's gonna be great. So, all right. Well, I think we're like at an hour. So, thank you everybody for watching and for sticking around. We're hoping to do this every other week now. Hopefully on Tuesday nights. So, spread the word. If you liked it, give us a like. Go to their channels. Check out Brandon on YouTube, Vince on TikTok, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's gonna start making a little more robust. So I'll get links in the description for their channels and stuff as well. But thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Take care.
Have a good night.